What's up everyone, my name's Alpha, and today we're back with Pokemon Radical Red. Yes, we haven't been on Radical Red since the release of Scarlet and Violet, and we're going to take a break from that and play some Radical Red. Today's challenge will be, can I beat Pokemon Radical Red without catching any Pokemon at all? You guys might be wondering, Alpha, ain't that just a GIF only run? To be honest, I think I've done like 3 of these on Radical Red, but this time it will be unique. I'm going to add some more rules on top of it to make it more interesting. So essentially, let's go through the rules. I can't catch any Pokemon to add on my team. All the Pokemon I have to find or be given it. I can't use Pokeballs at all. For certain Pokemon, such as like the egg vendors where you could re-roll until you get something really good, I decided to implement a rule where I can't re-roll at all. I get what I get and I can't complain at all. So yeah, no saving and redoing it. I have to play strictly on what the save file wants me to do. It's going to add some more difficulty element, obviously, and make it more tougher for me. When I was going with this rule set, I wasn't sure if I could beat the first 2 mini bosses. And that's basically the premise of the rule set, including all that. Each of my Pokemon will be nicknamed after you guys in the comments. So thanks so much for leaving a comment in my previous challenge video. If you guys want to be nicknamed after a future Pokemon in my future challenge video, just drop in the comments and hopefully I'll pick yours. And while you're down there, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to my channel. It means a lot to me. Anyways, let's get into the challenge video itself. To begin off, I actually spent a couple minutes trying to decide which starter Pokemon I actually want. I decided to go with Galar because there's a lot more options in Galar that fit what I want. I need a Pokemon that's able to beat Faulkner, the flying type mini boss, and also have a very good type of advantage against Brock, the first gym leader. And then from there, I could get more gift Pokemon. I'm really relying on my starter Pokemon. I decided to go for a Sabo, which I don't think I used a Sabo since the release of Sword and Shield, so that's a long time ago. And Sabo almost lost the first battle against our rivals. That's not a good sign for us, but we head into Pewter City, we get ourselves an egg, and the first thing that comes out the egg is gonna be a Solosis. I don't think I've used Solosis at all. I'm not even sure if I used it in my hardcore Nuzlocke runs in the 3DS games I played, but Solosis will be a Pokemon definitely on my team. From there, we face off against Faulkner, and a lot of time. We face off against Faulkner a lot of times. I think half an hour of footage of me fighting Faulkner until I lose. Lucky enough, I got this one really good run where I crit the Rufflet to begin off, and then I 3-shot the Corvisquire, live a Pluck, plus 1 Pluck, and I could Torrent boost and knock out the Corvisquire, and then from there, the Moga will go down as my Solosis still only barely survives with 1 HP from all that. Somehow, the greatest beginning still ended up with my Solosis just barely surviving, so we are lucky we beat down Faulkner. Now we face off against Brock next. Brock's the first gym leader in the game. I'm going to start the battle off against him using my boy Sabo. Sabo's going to start the battle off against his Geodude, water posting and getting a Confusion. Unfortunately, he doesn't hit himself in Confusion and obviously Rock to me, but lucky enough I have Aqua Jet to knock out his Geodude. I'm going to switch out into my Solosis to set up Reflect against his Vulpix. Ironically enough, I switched out my Water type against his Fire type, but I'm going to set up Reflect. It's going to help me out throughout the battle since I know I can outspeed. Once I switch out my Sabo and reset its stats, knock out the Vulpix, I actually don't one-shot the Onix because he has 30, and I'm able to go for an Aqua Jet. Maybe I should have just gone for a Water Post, but he switches out to his Arcane, and Aqua Jet unfortunately does not knock out the Arcane in 2 shots, so I take a Rock Tomb, but lucky enough I can just Aqua Jet for a 3rd time, knock out the Arcane and also the Onix somehow. I don't know how the Onix went down, but we'll take it at least. From there, we head into the route right before Mount Moon. We get ourselves a Magikarp, which, I mean, it's pretty good as a Magikarp. From there, we also beat down Mount Moon and the mini boss in here. We get ourselves a Helix Fossil. Now, I was thinking of using it, but that's so many water types in my run already that I decided against them. So I was just hoping something cool from the egg that we get from Cerulean City. And ironically enough, we get another water type. We get a Barboach. You guys know I'm not cheating for sure after getting a Barboach because there's no way anyone would actually just continue a run if they got Barboach, but I'm sticking with Barboach. We're gonna face off against Misty next, and someone let me know if Barboach or Witchcash is one of your favorite Pokemon. There's a theory that there's so many people in the world that for sure every single Pokemon has to be someone's type, someone's favorite Pokemon, so I want to know if I could find that Witchcash #1 fan. But from there, we're going to face off against Misty next. Misty's the 2nd gym leader in the game. We're going to start the battle off against her using my, I don't know, the 2nd evolution of Sabo. But the middle stage of Sabo, we're able to almost knock out the Frogadier. And then she can switch out to her Lantern. I'm able to get my Barboach in here, Magnitude, do some damage. And then get my Gyarados to knock out the Electric type for me with a Thrash. After sacking half my team for some reason. I don't know why I didn't go for a Thrash, but Thrash would knock out the Lantern. From there, she can switch out to her Starmie. I'm going to switch out into my middle stage Stobble looking thing. And from there, I'm able to just bite down the Starmie. It's unable to recover enough HP for me, so I'm able to just knock him down and easily knock out the Starmie. From there, she can switch out to her Floatzel, which I stay in, knock out her Frogadier as she just goes for flip turns. I sack my middle stage Stobble and go out to my Gyarados once again to lower his attack stat because I know he just wants to use flip turn. I just got to keep using Thrash. Eventually, I knock out the Floatzel, end up beating Misty pretty easily. I haven't played Radical Red in a minute, and I didn't realize how annoying Nugget Bridge is. Nugget Bridge just made me black out so many different times. Lucky enough, I was able to beat this trainer, but jeez, Nugget Bridge is the worst trial. It's the worst gauntlet ever. Jeez, I lied. There's actually a way worse gauntlet later on, but from there we're gonna head into Vermilion City, and our next egg will be a Cantonian or a Sevi Island form Feebas, which is kind of cool. We're actually going to try to evolve it as we go through the SS, and we get the HM for cut first, and then head into the Rock Tunnel, clear through the Rock Tunnel pretty easily, go into Celadon City, get ourselves an Eevee first, and then head into the market, get ourselves a Prism Scale and also a Firestone, evolve both our Pokemon into a Milotic, a Sevi Island Milotic, which is a Fairy and Ground type, and also evolve our Eevee into a Flareon. That'll be useful later on. You'll see why. But from there, we're gonna face off against Lieutenant Surge next. Lieutenant Surge is the 3rd gym leader in the game. He's also an electric type gym leader. We're gonna start the battle off against him using my Whiscash, which, you know, I put down Whiscash a lot. I eventually had to use him. Earthquake twice into the Pinch Urchin, and I'm able to knock him out. He then sends out his Boton, which I survive a move against him, and Earthquake to knock out the Boton, which is nuts. I'm here to sack my Whiscash. Surprisingly enough, I get 2 knockouts and also some damage against the Vikavolt, and then switch out into my Flareon. Flareon's able to basically beat down the Vikavolt. He's going to switch out to his Raichu, but I go for a dig. He's forced to go back to his Vikavolt. I knock out his Vikavolt, and, you know, the cycle continues. Flareon's actually a really good Pokemon because in this generation, or in this ROM hack, Flareon gets a lot of boost, and he's actually a pretty decent Pokemon. I'm able to do a lot of damage against Lieutenant Surge's team, switch out into my Milotic, and then go out into my middle stage Stobble. That's the last time you hear me say that because he was going to evolve into Inteleon soon. But from there, I can switch out into my Milotic. Bad plays by me, but it works out as I'm able to knock out the Raichu. And his final Pokemon will be a Manectric. I go out into my Gyarados for some reason. Just let him just get boosted up if he wants to use Charge Beam. I'm the greatest at losing games. But I go out to my Durotion. Durotion's able to Side Shock, knock out the Manectric, and we're able to beat down Lieutenant Surge. From there, we're going to face off against Erica next. Erica is the 4th gym leader in the game, and also the grass type gym leader. We're going to start the battle off against her using my Flareon to just actually Fire Fang once, and then I didn't go for a Flame Charge at all against him for some reason, but Fire Fang twice to knock out the Rillaboom, and then from there, I could Flame Charge into the Superior, which I should have done against the Rillaboom. Thinking back to it, I could easily survive a Leaf Storm as I'm able to outspeed him in the 2nd turn. Flame Charge to knock out the Superior. Her next Pokemon will be a Meganium, which I'm able to do a lot of damage against. Fire Fang to flinch, knock him down to red HP. She's going to eventually knock me out with a Giga Drain as I go out into my Reuniclus? What's his name? Reuniclus? Yeah, Reuniclus. Why does it sound weird? Anyways, I knock out the Meganium. And then from there, I switched out into my Gyarados to avoid the explosion, let him go to sleep against the Mega Venusaur, and then switch out into my Reuniclus and go for a Psychic. Psychic will 2-shot the Venusaur as we're able to beat down Erica. From there, we're going to actually go into the game corner and raid their TM shop. I bought every single TM I thought would be useful in the later run. And then we face off against Giovanni. We beat down Giovanni pretty easily. As you can see, Gyarados decided to sweep everything. And yeah, we easily beat down Giovanni. From there, we're going to face off against Chuck. Chuck's not too difficult as well. We're able to get a nice sweep down and beat down Chuck. And also get ourselves a Crab Brawler, which is going to be pretty useful later on. From there, we're going to head into Silph Co. We're going to get the Lapras. We're also going to get the free Trico from Brendan. And we're also going to beat down Giovanni and then head into the next gym in the game. We're going to face off against Sabrina next. Sabrina is the 5th gym leader in the game. We're going to start the battle off against her in this double battle fight, which is also a Psychic terrain with my Gyarados and Flareon. It's a cool combo. Flareon and Gyarados look very cool. I'm gonna go for an Iron Head and then Flame Charge into the Hatterene just to avoid a Trick Room because Trick Room is very annoying. Then she sends out her Crawdon. I take an Expanding Force, which actually doesn't do a lot of damage at all. And then from there, I'm gonna go for a Flare Blitz against the Crawdons. And then Crunch, what am I doing? Well, I could have just went for a Flare Blitz against Indeedee to knock him out, and then go for, I don't know, an Iron Head, hoping for the flinch. But you know what? I go out to my Milotic next. Milotic's able to go for a Dazzling Gleam, knock out the Crawdon. I'm able to go for a Flare Blitz against the Porygon 2 as well to knock him down to low HP. From there, the Ursaline obviously can go for a Protect to get his Flame Orb. From there, I'm able to knock out the Porygon 2. No. Flareon just goes down without any hitch at all. I go out to my Teleon next. This is not a good look. Lucky enough, Ursaluna is down to red HP, so it's going to go down to the next turn. Unfortunately, both my Pokemon, Maltic and also my Teleon, will go down in this turn as well. So that was not the best. But from there, Ursaluna goes down. I go out to my Crabominable and also my Reuniclus and go for an Ice Hammer to knock out the Gardevoir, get my 5th gym badge of the game, and then move on into the worst gauntlet in the game. We're going to go down Cycling Road, and Cycling Road is a pain. I forgot how bad it was for the past, like, I don't know, month and a half of not playing Radical Red. So it's not even this fight. This double battle fight with Maltic and Pikachu was the worst thing in. I was about to quit. I was like, I can't do this anymore. I had to switch up my teams a little bit. I actually added Sceptile on my team, as you can see. Sceptile is the newest member on my team, and also I added the Lapras. So all the self-code gift Pokemons I got, I'm able to add to my team, and then face off against Koga next. Koga is going to be the 6th gym leader in the game. We're going to start the battle off against him using my Lapras. Ice Beam immediately into the Swallow to knock him out pretty easily, get a crit, which is nice. He then sends out his Greninja. I know I Water Absorb on my Lapras, so I'm able to go out into my Maltic, bait in Dark Pulse, and then bait in some Water moves to absorb my HP. Eventually, Perish Song him down to just make him get away from me because I don't know how to deal with the Greninja. He switches out into his Drapion, which I'm able to get a free switch into my Maltic. Earth Power to knock out the Drapion, and then I'm able to shore up and then Moonblast to knock down the Selgor to low HP. I Scalded first and get a burn, and then for some reason go for an Earth Power. He then goes out to his Dragapult, which gets Moonblasted and knocked out in one shot. He also has a G-Max Toxicity, which I'm able to Earth Power and knock out as well. And then from there, he's a Selgor. I'm just going to let him knock out my Maltic as he knocks himself out with the burn. And then from there, my Mega Sceptile will outspeed his Greninja, easily knock him out, and we end up beating Koga pretty easily. From there, we're going to face off against Price next, and Price faced the wrath of Skull Burns pretty badly, as we're able to beat him down, get the Choice Scarf, and then face off against Blaine next. Blaine's the Fire-type gym leader in the game. We're going to start the battle off against him using my Teleon. Still haven't given him up. I'm able to Snipe Shot into the Torkoal and then U-turn against the Sunflora. I did all that, so my Flareon still goes down to an Earth Power against the Sunflora, so that was a bad play for me. I go out to my Mega Sceptile, which is able to outspeed even in the sun. Dual Chop to knock out the Sunflora, which is huge. He then sends out his Charizard next, which is getting Mega, obviously. I go out into my Lapras, which is gonna go for a Wish, which is probably the lowest IQ move I've done in a long time. But I go out to my Gyarados next, which is able to go for Dragon Dance. Now he outspeeds Aqua Fang to knock out the Charizard in one shot. From there, I was debating that he might go for a Sucker Punch, but I decided to go for an Aqua Fang anyways. Just avoid the Sucker Punch, and he didn't go for a Sucker Punch. I'm able to Aqua Fang, knock him out. Aqua Fang the Torkoal as well. He sends out his Executor, which I'm able to go for a Crunch, knock him down to low HP, and switch out into my Sceptile, which is able to knock out the Executor for me. Pretty huge. And then his next Pokemon will be a Typhlosion, which I can't outspeed. He is Eruption. I go out into my Teleon, which will Sucker Punch, break his Blazing Soul Blaze, which will make him slower against me. Snipe Shot doesn't knock him out, surprisingly enough, but we're able to go out into my Maltic, and we're able to barely survive Flamethrower. Earth Power to knock him out as we beat down Blaine, and also we get a Choice Specs from him, which will be pretty useful as I will use it from now on. From there, we're going to face off against Archer and Ariana in this consecutive fight. This fight isn't too difficult at all. As you see, we just sweep down Archer and also Ariana very easily. From there, we're going to face off against the Team Rocket head boss. We're going to face off against Giovanni with Lance as our teammate. But really, it doesn't feel like Lance is a teammate because I just need Lance to attack the Mewtwo. And he refuses to attack the Mewtwo. And we lose the battle so many times because he refused to attack the Mewtwo. This one time, he still refused to attack the Mewtwo. Lucky enough, I'm still able to knock out his team by myself, essentially, with my Mega Sceptile. I don't know why he's allergic to fighting the Mewtwo. Mewtwo is the biggest threat. It's in Psychic Terrain as well. I don't know. From there, we're able to beat down Giovanni. Face off against the 8th and final gym leader in the game. We're going to face off against Claire next. Claire's going to start the battle off against us using an Aerodactyl. I start the battle off against her using my Inteleon just to Skull into the Aerodactyl. She switches out, which I don't really see that often. She switched out to her Dragonite, which gets burned in the process, which is kind of sad. I go out to my Gyarados, which will crunch twice into the Dragonite. And for some reason, she switched out to her Dracovish. I go out into my Gyarados for some reason, and I bulldoze it. I don't know what I'm doing. I really don't have an idea when I'm playing this game. I don't know what to do. But from there, I'm able to go to my Sceptile and just Dragon Dance. And from there, after getting 3 Dragon Dance, I'm able to knock out the rest of her team. And yeah, I don't know what was going on in my head, but something was definitely cooking. It's definitely burned at this point, but we're able to beat down Claire pretty easily, and then we can face off against our rivals right before Victory Road. We're going to clear through Green first, which I'm not too sure why his name is Green, because it's definitely Gary, or at least blue. But we're able to beat down him and then face off against Brendan. And again, this Lapras is actually water and dragon type, which is not ice type in this Radical Red ROM hack. Surprisingly enough, we're able to beat down Brendan. From there, we're getting cleared through a victory road pretty easily. You can see my Sceptile is just sweeping everything down. I say that, but he just went down to a Swanna of all things. We actually almost lose this fight. Anyways, we're gonna go into the Elite Four next. Our first Elite Four member we're gonna face off against is gonna be Lorelei. Lorelei is gonna be a double battle fight with also a bunch of water types because we never seen her ice type apparently. We're gonna start the battle off against her using my Sceptile and Maltake. We're gonna go for a Dragon Dance with my Sceptile and just, I don't know, Moonblast into the Poliwrath, do something. Maltake will go down in one turn, but that's part of the plan. I just want to bait them into attacking the Maltake as I'm able to go for a Bullet Seed and also an Ice Beam to knock out the Poliwrath, so a double KO on my side. And I'm able to go for a Bullet Seed as I'm obviously going to outspeed the Kyogre. I outspeed everything at this point. And looking for us, we have very good RNG as the Dragovich doesn't attack our Sceptile with Outrage, as I'm able to Bullet Seed down the Kyogre and the Swampert. The Dragovich knocks out my poor Inteleon with 2 Outrages. From there, I'm able to go for a Bullet Seed, knock out the Kingdra, and finally he hits me with an Outrage, and I get a burn with Sacred Fire. So it's a really tough turn for the Dragovich, as I'm able to just beat it down. We beat down Lorelei pretty easily, and from there we're going to face off against Bruno next. Bruno is going to be the fighting type Elite Four member. We're going to start the battle off against him using my Sceptile, just immediately go for Dragon Dance, which is so cheese. Then Bullet Seed to knock out the Urshifu in 2 hits, which is crazy. Bodos to almost knock out the Zacian, which surprisingly enough, it does live it. And from there, it's going to knock out my Sceptile. I'm able to have a Focus Sash on my Flareon to Flame Charge to knock out the Zacian at the very least. And then from there, I could go out to my Gyarados. Gyarados goes for an Aqua Fang, actually knocks out the Lucario, which is huge. And then from there, I can't take. I should have went for a Dragon Dance as soon as I saw the Stone Edge. Terrakion is Spanded, I think. And I'm able to go for my Inteleon. I go for a Scald. It gets the Conqueror as I'm able to knock him out. From there, he's going to switch out to his Scizor, which I go for a Scald. It doesn't get a burn though, but I'm able to go out to my Lapras next. It's not an Ice type in this situation, so I'm able to go for a Scald, knock out the Scizor. His final opponent will be a Terrakion. He locks himself into close combat as I'm able to go out into my Maltake, Earth Power to knock him out pretty easily. We beat down Bruno. We face off against Agatha next. Agatha's going to start the battle off against us using a Grimmsnarl, which I go for a Bullet Seed with my unevolved Mega Sceptile because, you know, big brain plays now. Eventually, I do knock out the Grimmsnarl without it setting up any barriers at all. From there, she can switch out to her Spectre. I go for a Bullet Seed. If it get any more hits, I would have knocked out the Spectre, but of course not. I actually switch out into my Lapras and then switch out into my Maltake because it was just bad plays after bad plays. Hydreigon eventually comes out next as I go out to my Inteleon, and Inteleon gets paralyzed, but lucky enough, it's still able to knock out the Hydreigon somehow. Marshadow knocks out my Inteleon as I go out into my Maltake, able to get a Moonblast and then bait in the Gengar as I go out into my Sceptile just to sack it. I was hoping I could outspeed, but it didn't work out. Go out to my Flareon, survive a Sludge Wave at +2 somehow. What? How did he do that? What Flareon do I have? I'm able to knock out the Gengar with my Flareon. And then from there, I get a Sacred Fire against the Dragapult, go out into my Maltake to get a Moonblast to knock out the Dragapult and also the Spectre. And then in front of Pummel will be a Marshadow, which my Gyarados would take care of pretty easily. And we end up beating down Agatha without too much worries at all. From there, we're going to face off against Lance next, and this fight took a whole 45 seconds. So we're going to start the battle off against Lance using my Mega Sceptile to Bullet Seed into the Aerodactyl to just get a lucky roll, knock him out pretty easily. From there, I'm able to Scale Shot into the Dragonite, get a high roll, 3 hits, knock out the Dragonite. From there, he switches out into his Primal Dialga. He's sick of my cheesing. I go out to my Maltake, which resists him fully. Earth Power will actually eventually knock him down to low HP. I go out into my Sceptile next, and then Scale Shot looks like it should kill there as I'm able to knock out the Dialga. His next Pokemon will be a Melmetal as I go for Sacred Fire. Does not get a burn though, which, you know, you can't get everything. I decided to go out into my Inteleon next. Skull would knock out the Melmetal, and then Skull will burn the Dracovish. No, it doesn't. It's gonna knock out my Inteleon. As I go out to my Mega Sceptile, Scale Shot to knock out the Dracovish, and then I could get a Scale Shot off against his Salamence. Even though he gets intimidated on me, I get a Speed Up, which isn't normal. I think there's a chance you get a Speed Up, and then from there, because of the Speed Up, I can actually outspeed him with the Dragon Dance. So lucky enough, I knocked out the Salamence, but it did have a Gyarados in the back, so I was secure. From there, we're going to face up against our rival next. Our rival is the champion of the game, and we got to put him down. So we're going to start the battle off against him using my Inteleon. Inteleon is able to get a Scald. as he U-turns into his Yveltal, so I don't really get a Scald, so I just sacked my Inteleon. Okay, so Inteleon did absolutely nothing. Mountain comes out, it's able to get a Moonblast off against Yveltal and also lower the attack set of the Eternatus, and at that point I just decided to go for my Lapras. For some reason, just to do damage. He's just using Sludge Bomb a bunch as I made to go for an Earth Power and then eventually knock out the Eternatus. I could get my HP back with my Milesic later on, so I'm not too worried as I go out to my Gyarados against his Pheromosa. I'm able to get an Octafang, get him down to his Focus Edge, and then switch out into my Flareon. Somehow this works out. He then goes out to his Groudon, and somehow I go for a Dig, and somehow it does over half my Flareon Dig. It's a crazy move. I go out to my Milesic next. It's going to outspeed because I have Choice Scarf on. Earth Powers to knock out the Groudon. His next Pokemon will be a Pheromosa, which I go out into my Gyarados. Lowers attack stat, which is nice for me. I can't run away as I'm trying to get away from him. And then I decide to go for a Wish as he goes for his Ditto. Copies my Lapras. That means he can't really do too much damage to me, as I'm able to just go for a Wish and then switch out into my Gyarados. Get my HP all the way up against him. And then get Dragoness for free against the Ditto because it can't really do too much. I don't need to be scared of the Sucker Punch. I just need to knock out the Yveltal because if I play around this, it could just knocks me out. And lucky enough, it doesn't go for a Sucker Punch as I'm able to knock out the Yveltal and also the Pheromosa pretty easily. Oh, it doesn't. He actually U-turns again. I knock out his Metagross, and this Pheromosa comes out. I'm able to survive any move. Triple Axle Kick almost knocks me out, but I'm able to knock out the Pheromosa. And his final Pokemon will be a Ditto, which copies my Gyarados. It is +1, but it can't really do too much. I'm able to freeze the Ditto and also Parasong him, and then just waste some turns. Eventually, he's going to struggle to death as we end up beating down our rival without our Mega Sceptile at all. Sceptile didn't do anything, I don't think, so this challenge. We cleared through Pokemon Radical Red without catching a single Pokemon, which is actually pretty nice. We didn't reroll for any encounter at all. We did have to cheese it a little bit. We brought out the Mega Sceptile, but we actually kept our starter, which I was surprised at. I was actually, you guys didn't see it, I was switching between my Inteleon and no Inteleon for a lot of runs, but eventually I just kind of stick with Inteleon and it worked out for me. I don't know if it worked out. Inteleon kind of just was there. It didn't really do too much, but you know what? It's part of the team. Anyways, that will be the end of the video. I hope you guys all enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. If you guys can, please leave a like and subscribe to my channel. It means a lot to me. And my name has been Alpha. Hope you guys all had a great day, and I'm out. Peace.